was like a whitewater rafting adventure.
But this was an adventure nobody would ever sign up for. It began as a trickle and turned into a raging river on River Road.
When I saw it coming up over my hood here, I realized that it was a problem.
Frank Benitez was on his way to work when he hit the wall of water. His first thought?
Turn around and get out of here.
You can still see the mud on his Honda pickup.
I could feel my car being washed down the side of the hill.
He made it down.
I feel very fortunate, but I felt like I was torn between wanting to stop and help and realizing that I couldn't help.
And what has bothered him all day? Well, he'd given a friendly wave and let a stranger pull in front of him at the previous red light. When he saw her last,
water was running over the top of the car.
Over her car?
Over her car, yeah.
It was just wave of water coming on the street.
That woman he had seen is Maria Stosi. They were inches apart but had very different experiences. She sat for 2 hours waiting to be rescued.
Water was going over my car, and I was actually scared that water will throw us away somewhere because it was very strong water. But luckily, everything ends nicely.
While one stranger across town was wondering if she was okay, another stranger who lived near the scene greeted Stosi when she hit higher ground. To an outsider, they looked like family.
I thought we'd been watching her on television all morning, and we thought, what a beautiful patient.
And in a way, a beautiful scene with just empty cars left behind. The only real wave was a wave of gratitude, thankfulness for the sacrifices made and the lives saved.
It was a burial befitting a modern-day war hero, with full military honors and a procession of hundreds of mourners, family, friends, members of Congress, even strangers, all gathering at Arlington National Cemetery's infamous Section 60, where this generation's war heroes are buried. Specialist Green's mother is Sonny Erlinger.
The tribute was incredible. It was amazing. I still am in awe of everybody that has come out for my son. He was just not my hero, but it looks like he was the community's hero and the country's hero.
Army Specialist Doug Green of Sterling, Virginia, was 23, killed by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan August 28th. Alicia Swanstrom was Doug Green's girlfriend.
Things in Afghanistan were really bad, and he was seeing people next to him die, and he was out there every day getting shot at and shooting at people, and it was bad. And when I talked to him, he was scared.
More than 1,700 U.S. servicemen and women have been killed in Afghanistan these past 10 years, 65 others with Doug last month alone. He was also an Iraq War veteran, joining the Army right out of high school, Potomac Falls in Sterling.
Just knowing that Doug was in my life for the amount of time that he was makes any day going forward better than any day before I met him.
And yet, from Arlington, Doug Green's family takes home only folded American flags, leaving behind a son, brother, friend, and hearts full of memories.
Yesterday, it was definitely a reality check. Seeing him in the casket, that was definitely made me come to the realization that he's gone. And we're all very heartbroken, but I know that all of us are going to try and, keep his spirit alive and do what we can to make him proud and happy for him.
I have a fire inside of me now that's different than I had before, and it's Doug telling me, live each day and make the most of it.
Hundreds of people from Frederick County, Virginia, gathered at Clearbrook Park, most with helium-filled balloons. They came to remember the 4 lives lost on June 26th when an allegedly drunk driver smashed into the rear of the Rowe family's stopped car, sparking an inferno that killed Mark Rowe, Amanda Rowe, and their 2 sons, 11-year-old Caleb and Tyler. Tyler would have been celebrating his 5th birthday on this day.
Happy birthday,
There were no speeches at this memorial, just quiet condolences for surviving family members. Messages of sympathy were written in old-fashioned composition notebooks, and quiet remembrances occurred among acquaintances. Marilyn Buraker and Julie Denson were troop leaders for former Girl Scout Amanda Rowe.
She was one of the quiet ones, but isn't it kind of fitting, isn't it?
Yep.
That all these voices are being raised for her and in honor of her. She was a wonderful, wonderful person.
Oh, yes.
Yes, always had a smile, didn't
Yes.
she?
Yes,
Is
and
she?
the curly red hair.
Yeah.
The crowd spontaneously began singing Happy Birthday to Tyler Rowe, then hundreds and hundreds of balloons were released into the air. Kids and adults marveled at the sight of the huge flock of climbing balloons. Many were nearly incoherent with grief. Patty and Ken Turner.
Because it breaks my heart, because I have a 7-year-old son.
Because it's his birthday. I mean, it's all he gets.
It's balloons in the sky.
That's about it. It's his birthday.
As the balloons raced aloft, the crowd quietly dispersed, with parents holding tight to the hands of their children who will still get to celebrate future birthdays.
You see her right up there?
In Frederick County, Virginia, John Henrahan, Fox 5 News.
They waded through the North Anna River and deep into the thick Virginia woods. They are racing Mother Nature, specifically time.
Just really hope we can get him before the colder weather and the rain rolls in.
They are professionals and volunteers, hundreds of them, searching for 8-year-old Robbie Wood. Robbie has autism. He wandered away from a park in Hanover County, Virginia, Sunday afternoon. Wayne Dawson is a retired firefighter, here as a public service. For Dawson, showing up felt personal. His own grandson has autism.
I mean, it does make a difference, you know, knowing that my grandson is autistic, but not to the extent that I've heard about Robbie, but still, it doesn't matter. We're ready to make a difference.
An army of 1,200 volunteers gathered today.
And we've got radio communication between ourselves, okay?
What they may lack in training, they make up for in heart.
We're all hopeful. It's still called a rescue, not a recovery at this point.
We are not giving up. Our mission is clear. We have had a huge response of volunteers today, and I can't tell you how much that means to both the family and the professional staff that are working to find Robert.
Authorities expanded the search westward and added extra dive teams. They know that working quickly is crucial.
We wouldn't be asking 1,000 volunteers to come help us if we didn't think he didn't need immediate help. We are in a life-saving mode, definitely.
When asked how long they will look,
when a child goes missing, you never stop looking for him.
Robert Wood Jr. has been found and reunited with his family. He was found at approximately 2 p.m. on the Martin Marietta quarry property.
It was the news everyone was praying to hear. Earlier this afternoon, in these woods, less than a mile from North Anna Battlefield Park, where 8-year-old Robert Wood went missing Sunday afternoon, the boy, with autism, was found alive and taken from the woods, brought to a nearby hospital for examination and to be reunited with his family.
You had the thoughts in the back of your mind, there's no way this child can be out there, food, no water, minimal clothing, and the weather's getting bad. Is this going to even turn out good? But it did. God answers prayers.
We're told word spread quickly here at the Volunteer Command Center over near Kings Dominion.
The place just went crazy with screams, and it was great. It was a great experience.
How are you feeling right now?
I have no words for how great I feel right now, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
You're my far end. Just kind of keep your spacing as best you can and pay attention to your compass guide.
It had been another day with hundreds of volunteers coming from, in some cases, hours away to help in the search for Robert.
I have a daughter who's special needs, a little autistic, and it just touches, pulls my heartstring. I couldn't imagine what the parents are going through. And if it was my kid out there, I would hope people do the same thing.
Obviously, he has no training and he has special needs, so I have 5 grandchildren, so I certainly wouldn't want to see one of them out there in trouble and nobody help.
No one on the team ever gave up, and I have to say that there were some times that you just had to reach down and find that faith that you were going to find him, and whether it's appropriate or not for everyone, there is a God. He listens to prayer, and prayers were answered. Thank you very much.
The Kluge Winery near Charlottesville, Virginia, opened about 10 years ago. Patricia Kluge poured her money and her heart into the enterprise. Her wines won awards, but the winery did not survive the recession. She had to declare bankruptcy and admits she lost all of her millions. She's quite public about the loss.
Everything material, but I didn't lose what is important. And what's important to me is my family, my friends, my winery, and my vineyard, and the wines that I produce. They have been saved by a dear friend.
That dear friend is real estate mogul Donald Trump, who has scooped up much of the Kluge properties, has renamed the enterprise, and is now Virginia's newest winemaker. Trump says he can make money here.
We have no debt. We bought it for the right price from the banks, and frankly, I think it's something that's going to be a lot of fun and job producing, and will produce a fantastic wine.
Trump has hired Patricia Kluge and her husband to manage the winery they built up. Governor Bob McDonnell helped kick off a party to celebrate the opening of the new Trump Winery.
We know the Trump name is synonymous with business success and with quality, and having that now attached to a name, Kluge Estate Winery, that's already known for quality wines, we think there's marvelous days ahead here for the wine industry.
How are you doing? The new name actually brought these tourists to the tasting room. Jan Patch of Orange County, Virginia, loved the white she was sipping.
Very good.
In fact, she bought a bottle. Her husband Lou was not so big on the red.
Too much tannin. Just a tad bitter, a little aftertaste. Here's to an adventure, guys.
Well, Mr. Patch, you may want to come back in 6 or 12 months. Eric Trump, Donald's son, who will be the titular head of the winery, says the family plans to introduce new varieties of bottled wine, and they will likely concentrate on the reds. At the new Trump Winery near Charlottesville, Virginia, John Henrahan, Fox 5 News.